Hi, in this video I'm going to take you through how you can use our target weighting and effective sample size calculator. You'll be needing to use Microsoft Excel with macros enabled to be able to use it. When you open up the workbook, you'll come to a worksheet called Targets. There is a full description of how to use this workbook in the tab called Information How to Use, but I'm going to take you through how to use it in this video. So your starting point is to fill in what your targets are that you want to weight to. Now, if you've only got what I call one-dimensional targets, in other words, just one question or variable that you want to weight to, you will need to make sure you've got the word total or some other piece of text in column B or cell B1. In here, you want the texts for the targets that you're weighting to. In my case, I've got 16 to 34-year-olds, 35 to 54 and 55 plus, and the targets that you want to weight to. Now, these targets can be percentages or whole numbers. So if I had 300 respondents who weren't 100 of each of those age group and I wanted to weight to 100 of each of those age groups, I can just type 100 in here. If I've got percentages and I wanted to weight to say 40% here, 40% here and 20% there, I can type in the percentages. Either works absolutely fine. When you're ready, just double click on cell A1, this yellow cell here, and it will ask you if you're ready to go on and enter the actual figures you've got in your survey. So we'll click yes here. Now, I haven't got any previous figures, so it's okay. It doesn't make a difference in this case whether I click yes or no. But if I'd already run this process before, I might want to clear the actuals I had previously. But I'm going to click yes anyway. And you can see I now get an image of this screen again, or somewhere to repeat, if you like, of the targets, waiting for me to type in the actuals that I've got. So maybe I've got 300 people in this age group, 200 in this age group, and 100 in this age group. Now, you know, just now I was actually going to weight to percentages. So you'll see now when I double click on this cell in the actual sheet, it will ask me what sort of weighting or target weighting I'm hoping to achieve. So let's double click on that. Up pops a form. And so there are 5 options here. I can either calculate targets treating the targets as figures. Indeed, my figures here are percentages, so my targets are percentages, but my actuals are whole figures. I could calculate the targets treating the targets as percentages, which is exactly what I've got here. So I'm going to click on that one. Or I could actually just round all my figures to 100 if my targets were percentages. Or I could go back and change the targets and re-enter them. Or I could just do absolutely nothing. Now you'll see a little checkbox here as well. What the system will do for you is actually automatically calculate the effective sample size. If you don't want to see the effective sample size, you check that box and it won't tell you. My advice is that you always leave that unchecked so that you can see what effective sample size you have having applied the weighting. So let's click OK. And it tells me here that my sample was 600 and the effective sample size has dropped to 576 as a result of the weighting I'm doing. That's not too bad. If it drops significantly, as you will read in the article on our website, you need to obviously take perhaps more care or more action and more thought. Okay, so there we are. It's telling me now the weights I'm going to apply to this data to achieve those targets are that all of the people aged 16 to 34 will get a weight of 0.8. All the people aged 35 to 54 get a weight of 1.2. And the people aged 55 plus also get a weight of 1.2. Now, if your weighting targets are more complex than that, let's go back to the target sheet. You might want a matrix. So you might want to weight, for example, age within gender. So we might have male and female. So we might this time want to weight to something like that. So we want 100, the targets to add to 100% again, or of course, as I said before, they could add to actual numbers. But this time they're being split between different age, by gender within the 3 age groups. So this adds to 100%. So if I double click again, it's going to ask me whether I want to clear my previous actual figures that I entered, and I clearly do because I'm now doing gender within age. So click yes, and I can enter the samples I've got here. So I may have 40 males of that age group, then 50, then 60, then 70, then 80, and then 90. So now I've got a sort of like a 2-dimensional matrix. Click OK again, check the percentages, which is what I've got this time. Click OK, and you can see this time the effective sample size is somewhat lower. So the sample is 390 from the people I have here, but actually effective sample size is as low as 317 because I'm needing to apply somewhat heavier weights, 1.95 in this case and just 0.43 for this particular cell here. So that explains how you use it. Now, the only question you may have now is what you do if you want a 3-dimensional matrices. So maybe you want to do age within gender, within region, north and south maybe. In that particular case, you'll have to make it 2-dimensional by perhaps showing here the targets and the actuals for north within those 3 age groups, and then below down here south within those 3 age groups, so that effectively it comes 2-dimensional. There's no other way of doing it than that. So I hope that helps you with our target weighting and effective sample size calculator. If you have any questions, just send us an email and we'll do our best to help you.